I never thought my life would end up here. You know that feeling when your heart just caves in? Like it's not even breaking. It's just hollow, collapsing in on itself. That was me, sitting on the edge of our bed at 2 in the morning. Her phone glowing in my hand, my whole body shaking. And there it was. Not one, not two, but four. 4 different guys, all talking to her like she was theirs, sending her pictures, making plans, laughing about me behind my back. My best friend, my neighbor, her boss, even that so-called gay friend she swore was just safe company. I swear my chest physically hurt reading those messages. I could hear the blood rushing in my ears, like static. My stomach turned so bad, I thought I'd puke right there on the carpet. And the worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was how casual they all were about it. How much fun they were having at my expense. Like I was the dumb joke they all shared. When she came out of the shower and saw me holding her phone, I expected panic, tears, excuses, something. But you know what she did? She laughed. Straight up laughed. Looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Took you long enough to figure it out." That moment. That's when I knew the person I thought I loved didn't even exist. But to understand how I got to that night, I need to take you back to when things seemed perfect. Or at least, what I thought was perfect. We met 3 years ago at this little coffee shop near my job. I remember exactly how it happened. I was waiting for my latte, scrolling my phone, and she accidentally bumped into me, spilling half her drink on my sleeve. She freaked out, apologizing, grabbing napkins. I laughed it off, and then she smiled. God, that smile. It wasn't just pretty. It was warm, the kind of smile that makes you feel seen, like the world slowed down just for you. From there, it was fast. Too fast, maybe. We started texting every day, calling every night. She had this way of making me feel like I was the most important person alive. Like no one else mattered but us. 6 months in, she moved into my apartment. It felt natural, like the next step. We cooked together, watched trash TV until late, planned weekend trips. I'd come home from work, exhausted from double shifts, and she'd be there on the couch in my hoodie, waiting with takeout. It felt like home, and for me, that was everything. Because growing up, I didn't really have a home. My parents fought like it was their full-time job. I spent most nights at my buddy's house just to escape the yelling. So when I found someone who made me feel safe, who made me believe in love, I held on tight, too tight. I see that now. The first cracks showed up about 1.5 years in. Little things. Her phone face down on the table all the time. Her suddenly working late, even though she used to complain non-stop about her job. Nights where she said she was too tired, too busy, too stressed to even talk. I remember asking her once, "Are we good? Like, are you happy with me?" She kissed my forehead and said, "Of course, babe. Don't overthink." And I believed her, because I wanted to. That's the thing about love. When you're in it, you wear blinders. You don't see the red flags. Or maybe you do, but you convince yourself they're nothing. Just shadows in the corner. So I worked harder, picked up extra shifts, started secretly saving for a ring. I pictured this whole future with her. Kids, a house, growing old together. I thought if I just gave her everything, she'd never have a reason to leave. But instead, while I was out there grinding, she was God. It still makes me sick. The first real wake-up moment came one night around 2 in the morning. Her phone lit up on the nightstand. Over and over, buzzing non-stop. I couldn't sleep through it, so I nudged her and said, "Hey, your phone's blowing up." Half asleep, she mumbled, "Work stuff." Don't worry. At 2 in the morning, I wanted to push, but she rolled over, already drifting back to sleep, and I let it go, because that's what I did. I trusted her, but the buzzing kept happening, night after night, always late, always when she thought I was asleep. One night I asked, "Why don't you just silence your notifications?" She shrugged and said, I might miss something important. Important. Yeah, right. The night it all came crashing down, I wasn't even looking for trouble. I swear, I just couldn't take it anymore. She was in the shower, phone buzzing again and again, and my chest felt tight. Like if I didn't look, I'd go insane. So I did it. I picked up her phone. I wish I could tell you it was just one mistake, one slip, but no. It was a whole world I didn't know about. 4 separate threads. 4 men, her boss, the one she hated, my neighbor, the guy who'd borrow tools and beer from me like we were bros, my best friend since childhood, and the so-called gay friend. She swore I had nothing to worry about. Each one thought they were special. Each one thought they were hers. And in between the flirty texts and photos, they joked about me, about how clueless I was, about how she had me wrapped around her finger. My hands were shaking so bad the phone almost slipped. My chest hurt. My vision blurred. I couldn't even breathe. That's when she walked out of the bathroom, towel on her head, humming like nothing was wrong. And she saw me with her phone. Her face didn't even change. No panic. No shame. She smirked. Then she laughed. And she said the words that cut deeper than the cheating ever could. Took you long enough to figure it out. That's where I'll leave this part. Because what happened after, that's when things got ugly. That's when everything I thought I knew about her, about us, about myself, collapsed. And trust me, it only got worse. She laughed. God, I can still hear it. That sharp little chuckle that cut right through me like a knife. I was standing there with her phone in my hand, my whole body trembling, my throat tight, and she laughed. You think this is funny? I managed to choke out. She wrapped the towel tighter around her hair and leaned against the doorframe like she was bored. I mean, kind of. You walking around playing detective, saving for a ring like some Hallmark movie boyfriend. Babe, it's been obvious for months. You really didn't see it. My knees almost gave out. I swear my legs didn't feel like they belonged to me. My voice cracked when I said, "You've been, what? Sleeping with 4 different guys. 4. She shrugged. Like I just asked her if she wanted takeout. Yeah, what, you want me to cry about it? I was bored. You're predictable. You're safe. That word hit me like a slap. Safe. I was killing myself working double shifts, saving money for our future, doing everything I could to give her stability. And to her, that just meant boring. I snapped. Predictable. Safe. That's what you call loyalty. That's what you call love. Her eyes narrowed. Love, don't make this dramatic. It's not like I don't care about you. But you're not enough, okay? I needed more. I swear my heart shattered right then. Because I realized she wasn't sorry. Not even a little. The fight escalated fast. My voice was breaking, words spilling out of me like broken glass. How long? I demanded. How long has this been going on? She smirked. 8 months. Maybe more. Does it matter? 8 months. 8 months of lies. 8 months of me busting my ass while she was out laughing with them. 8 months of looking me in the eye and saying I love you before sneaking out. I shouted. With who? Who are they? That's when she dropped the bomb. You know them. My chest tightened. What do you mean I know them? She tilted her head, almost smug. Your friend, your neighbor, my boss, and yeah, even that friend you always thought was gay. Guess what? He's not. I swear my vision blurred. I actually staggered back, hitting the dresser. My best friend, the guy I'd grown up with, trusted with my secrets. My neighbor, who borrowed my tools and beers like a brother. Her boss, who she always claimed was a creep. And that gay friend she swore was harmless. It was like the world tilted. I couldn't tell if I was standing, falling, or dreaming some sick nightmare. I said her name. Just her name. Like maybe that would snap her out of it. Remind her she loved me. But she just rolled her eyes. You're acting like a child. Grow up. People cheat. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. My whole world was collapsing right in front of me. I lost it then. My voice cracked as I shouted, "You made me believe in something real. You made me think we had a future. I was saving for a ring, for God's sake." That finally got a reaction, but not the one I expected. She laughed again, shaking her head. "A ring? Oh my God. That would have been the worst mistake of my life. I mean, can you imagine me, married to this? A guy who works double shifts and comes home exhausted, falling asleep on the couch. No thanks." Those words gutted me, because all those nights I came home drained. I thought I was doing it for us, for her, and she saw me as nothing. Something in me broke. I didn't even feel anger anymore. Just emptiness. My voice was quiet when I said, "So what now? You want me to just stay here while you keep doing this?" She scoffed. "No, you're too clingy. Honestly, I was waiting for you to figure it out so we could end this without me having to be the bad guy." The bad guy. She said that with a straight face. I whispered, "You already are." I don't even remember packing. My hands moved on their own, stuffing clothes into a bag, grabbing my toothbrush, my wallet, a pair of shoes. She didn't try to stop me, didn't beg, didn't cry. As I zipped the bag, she said casually, "Don't be so dramatic. You'll thank me one day. You deserve someone boring like you." I paused in the doorway, staring at her one last time, and I realized I didn't even recognize her, the girl I fell in love with, the girl who made me believe in home. She was gone. Maybe she never even existed. I walked out, but walking out didn't mean the pain stopped. If anything, it got worse, because once I left that apartment, I had to face the reality of who betrayed me. First, my best friend, the guy I'd known since we were kids. We shared everything: birthdays, video games, heartbreaks. He was the brother I never had. And now I had to face the fact that he'd been sneaking around with my girlfriend behind my back. Then, my neighbor, a guy I trusted, someone who'd sit on my couch, drink my beer, watch the game with me, all while sneaking into my girlfriend's bed when I wasn't home. Her boss. That one stung too, but in a different way. It felt like a cliche, like something out of a bad movie. The powerful boss preying on the young employee. Except this time, she wasn't some helpless victim. She wanted it. And the gay friend? That was the dagger. She'd used him as a shield every time I questioned her. "Don't worry, babe, he's gay." How many times had I swallowed that lie, trusting her? Each revelation was a punch to the gut, and together they knocked the air right out of me. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in my car outside a cheap motel, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last 3 years. Every "I love you," every laugh, every plan, and realizing it was all built on lies. My phone buzzed once. A text from my so-called best friend. It said, "It wasn't personal. These things happen. Don't hate me, bro." I stared at that screen until my eyes burned. Not personal. He destroyed my trust, my relationship, my entire sense of reality. And it wasn't personal. I didn't reply. I couldn't. Because there was nothing left to say. That was the beginning of the darkest chapter of my life. I wish I could say I handled it with strength, that I walked away with my head high. But the truth? I fell apart. I lost weight. I couldn't eat. Couldn't focus. My job suffered. I looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize myself. All I saw was a fool. A guy who gave everything to someone who saw him as a joke. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom. It forces you to choose. Stay there and let it crush you. Or crawl out. And I didn't know it then. Sitting alone in that motel room. But crawling out was going to be the hardest, and most important, thing I'd ever do. Because it wasn't just her. It was the 4 men I never thought I'd have to question. 4 men who played their parts in destroying the person I used to be. Let's start with the one that cut the deepest. My best friend. We grew up together. He was the kid who sat next to me in kindergarten, trading crayons. The guy I stayed up all night playing video games with. The one who covered for me when I got in trouble with my parents. We were brothers in everything but blood, and when life got hard, he was always there. When my dad left, he was the one who came to my house with pizza and sat with me through the silence. When I was broke and working 3 shifts just to pay rent, he'd tell me, "One day, man, it'll all pay off." I trusted him with everything. My secrets, my dreams, my pain. So when I saw his name in her phone, my stomach dropped. I scrolled, and there it was. Messages going back months. Pictures I wish I could erase from my brain. And the worst part? They joked about me. He joked about me. Stuff like, "Don't worry, he's too busy playing hero at work." Or, "He'll never see it coming. He trusts us both too much." Reading those words, it was like my whole childhood, my whole friendship, had been a lie. Later that night, when he texted me, it wasn't personal. I wanted to smash my phone. Not personal. My girlfriend. My life. My trust. How the hell is that not personal? Then there was the neighbor. You know, the type of guy who seems harmless. Always borrowing stuff. Always hanging around. He'd knock on my door, asking for a screwdriver, then stay an extra hour drinking my beer, watching the game. I thought he was lonely. I felt bad for him, so I let him in. And apparently, while I was letting him into my apartment, he was letting himself into my girlfriend's bed. When I looked back, the signs were there. The way he'd smirk when she walked by. The way she'd brush him off with a laugh when I teased. Careful, man, she's taken. But I never imagined he'd actually do it. That they'd actually cross that line. Finding out wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. Because now every memory of us hanging out together felt dirty. Like he was laughing at me the whole time. Knowing he was getting something behind my back. Then came her boss. That one was almost a cliche. The creepy boss, who stayed late at the office, sent her texts at weird hours. She'd always complain about him. "Ugh, he's so annoying. He doesn't respect boundaries." And like a fool, I believed her. I even comforted her. Told her she should quit if she ever felt unsafe. But looking at those messages, there was nothing unsafe about it. She was in it. She was sending him photos, planning meetings outside of work, acting like some kind of trophy he could show off. What killed me was how she used me as the excuse. "Can't tonight, my boyfriend's home. We'll meet when he's on shift." I was the obstacle in their little game. The idiot she had to work around. And in the end, he got what he wanted, used her, tossed her aside when it was convenient. And finally, the one that broke me in a way I didn't expect. The so-called gay friend. From the very beginning, I was uneasy about him. The late night hangouts, the inside jokes, the way she lit up when he texted. But every time I brought it up, she'd roll her eyes. "He's gay. Stop being insecure." And I'd feel guilty. Like I was the jealous boyfriend who didn't trust her. I remember once, she even said, "You're lucky I have him. Otherwise, I'd be bored when you're at work." I laughed it off. Thought it was harmless. But it wasn't harmless. Because the messages between them were the most intimate of all. Not just physical, emotional. She told him things she never told me. Her fears, her desires, her dreams. Things I thought were ours. And the photos. God, the photos proved he wasn't gay. Not even close. That betrayal wasn't just about sex. It was about trust. She weaponized my insecurity. Made me feel crazy for questioning it. All while knowing the truth. One by one, the pieces fell into place. My best friend. My neighbor. Her boss. The gay friend. It wasn't just that she cheated. It was that she did it with people who were woven into my life. People who were supposed to be safe. People I let into my world because I trusted them. She didn't just betray me. She surrounded me with betrayal. Everywhere I turned, there was someone who had smiled in my face while stabbing me in the back. The days that followed were a blur. I didn't eat, didn't sleep. I walked around in a haze, like the world had lost its color. Even the air felt heavy. I kept replaying it in my head. Their names, their faces, her words. You're too predictable. Every time I thought I'd hit the bottom, I fell further. Because betrayal isn't just one wound. It's 1,000 tiny cuts, and each one burns. I started questioning everything. Was she ever loyal? Was my best friend ever really my friend? Did she laugh at me every time I said, I love you? Did he smirk behind my back every time I called him bro? I was drowning in questions, with no answers. But here's the thing about betrayal. It forces you into a corner. It leaves you with two choices. Let it define you, or fight your way through it. At the time, I didn't think I had the strength to fight. I was broken, humiliated, alone in a city where every corner reminded me of her. But somewhere in that darkness, a small voice inside me whispered, you can't stay here. You have to move. And that's when the slow, painful climb out of hell began. Because part 4, that's the part where I start clawing my way back. Therapy, small victories. The slow, shaky process of becoming someone stronger. And eventually, the sweetest twist of all, watching every single one of them face their own downfall. But I'll save that for next time. The hardest part wasn't leaving her. It wasn't even finding out about the 4 guys. The hardest part was waking up the next morning and realizing I had to keep living. That the sun had the nerve to rise. That people were driving to work, drinking coffee, laughing with their kids, while my entire world had just collapsed. I remember staring at the ceiling of that cheap motel, thinking, what's the point? Everything I believed in, love, loyalty, friendship, had been ripped away. And now what was left? Just me, alone. For days I barely moved. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My phone kept buzzing. Calls, texts, from her, from him, from random numbers I didn't recognize. I blocked them all. But even silence felt loud. I thought I was strong. I thought I could handle anything. But betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It breaks your sense of reality. That's when I finally walked into therapy. I didn't even want to be there at first. I sat in that little office, arms crossed, staring at the floor. The therapist asked, what brings you here? And all I could manage was, everything fell apart. But week by week, something shifted. At first, I just vented. Every session was me unloading. Her lies, their betrayal, my rage. The therapist would just nod, sometimes ask, and how did that make you feel? I hated that question at first. How did it make me feel? Like garbage. Like less than garbage. But slowly, painfully, I started realizing something. Their actions weren't about me. Their betrayal didn't mean I wasn't enough. It meant they weren't. That was the first thread of healing. Understanding that their choices reflected who they were, not who I was. I started taking care of myself in small ways. Cooking simple meals instead of living off takeout. Going for walks, even when my body felt like lead. Writing in a journal. Pouring out every thought instead of bottling it up. At first, it felt pointless. But little by little, I noticed. I could breathe again. I could feel sunlight on my face without it burning. And somewhere in the middle of all this, life gave me a strange gift. Karma updates. The first came about a month after I left. A mutual friend called me, not realizing I hadn't spoken to my ex. She said, "Did you hear about her job?" Turns out, her boss, the guy she thought would protect her, elevate her, fired her. The same man she cheated with tossed her aside like trash. Once he got what he wanted, word spread around the office, and her reputation was ruined. I won't lie. When I heard that, I laughed for the first time in weeks. A bitter, broken laugh, but still, because that was the beginning of justice. Then came the neighbor. I ran into his landlord when I went back to clear out some stuff from my old place. He mentioned, yeah, he moved, got evicted, didn't pay rent for 2 months, just vanished. I pictured him packing up his cheap furniture, running away like the coward he was. And I felt lighter, like the universe was cleaning house for me. And then, my best friend, or should I say ex-best friend, his girlfriend found out. She saw the messages, the pictures, and from what I heard, she threw his stuff onto the street in the middle of the night. Didn't even let him explain. I can't lie. Part of me wished I could have seen that. Him standing there, humiliated, exposed. But another part of me realized he was never really my friend. Maybe I just didn't want to see it until now. As for the so-called gay friend, he ghosted her, flat out disappeared. After all the secrets, all the intimacy, he just left her hanging. No calls, no texts, just gone. When I found out, it hit me. Every single one of them used her, just like she used me. And now, she was standing alone in the wreckage she built. But the real test came 2 months later. I was finally settling into a new city, going to therapy, rebuilding piece by piece. And one night, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I picked up. It was her. Her voice was shaky, desperate. "I made a mistake," she said. "Please, can we talk?" She told me everything. How her boss dumped her. How the neighbor vanished. How my best friend betrayed his own girlfriend and lost everything. How even the gay friend abandoned her. She said she was lonely, that she realized I was the only one who ever truly loved her. For a second, I felt that old ache in my chest, that pull, because a part of me still remembered the girl I thought she was. The smile that once felt like home. But then I remembered her words. "You're too predictable. You're boring." I remembered the laughter when she saw me holding her phone. I remembered how she didn't even flinch when I walked out, and I laughed. Right into the phone. Not bitter this time, just free. Then I hung up. That was the moment I knew I was healing. Because forgiveness doesn't always mean taking someone back. Sometimes it just means letting go. Releasing the grip they had on your heart, and little by little, I started living again. I picked up hobbies I'd dropped. Guitar, running, cooking real meals. I made new friends. Not overnight, not easily, but slowly. And for the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't just surviving. I was becoming someone new. Stronger, smarter, unbreakable. But here's the thing about healing. It's not a straight line. Some days I still woke up with the weight on my chest. Some nights I dreamed of her laughter, of him smirking at me, and woke up in a sweat. But every time I got back up, every time I chose to move forward instead of back, I won. And by the time she called again, because of course she called again, I was ready. It had been 3 months since I left her. 3 months of therapy. 3 months of rebuilding myself from scratch. 3 months of cutting away the poison they left in me. By then, I had already heard most of the karma stories. The boss dumped her. The neighbor vanished. My ex-best friend was single and hated by everyone who knew the truth. Even her so-called gay friend had ghosted her. She was alone, exactly where her choices had led her. But I didn't expect her to show up. Not in person. Not standing right in front of me. It was a Saturday morning. I had just come back from a run, sweat dripping, headphones still in my ears. And there she was, sitting on the steps of my apartment building. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were red, swollen. She looked nothing like the confident, manipulative woman I once knew. She looked small. When she saw me, she stood up quickly. "Please," she whispered. "Just hear me out." I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to turn around, to walk away. But something in me, maybe curiosity, maybe a need for closure, kept me rooted to the ground. So I crossed my arms and said, "Talk." She started spilling everything. How the boss used her and tossed her aside. How everyone at her workplace whispered about her. How she couldn't even get interviews anymore. How the neighbor, her fun little distraction, vanished overnight, leaving her with unpaid bills. How my ex-best friend's girlfriend exposed him. And now everyone knew what kind of man he really was. How the gay friend she trusted the most blocked her like she was nothing. Her voice cracked as she said, "I lost everything. Everyone. I don't have anyone left. Except you." And then the tears came. Real ones. For the first time, I saw her crumble. She reached for me. "You were the only one who truly loved me. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. Please, please take me back." For a second, time froze. I thought about everything we'd shared. The laughter, the late night talks, the plans we once made. A small part of me wanted to believe her, to believe we could go back. But then the memories came crashing in. Her laughter as she mocked me. Her cold eyes when I caught her. Her voice saying, "You're too predictable, too boring." And suddenly I realized something powerful. I didn't want her back. Not anymore. Not ever. I took a deep breath and said, "You're right. I did love you. More than anyone else ever did. More than you deserved. But the man who loved you, he's gone. You killed him the moment you betrayed me." Her face twisted in panic. "No, no, please, I can change." I shook my head. "You don't need me. You need to face yourself. And I'm not here to fix what you broke. Not anymore." She tried again, stepping closer, her hands trembling. "I'll do anything, just give me another chance." And that's when I finally smiled. A calm, steady smile. The kind of smile that comes when the pain is gone and only truth remains. I said, "No, just that. One word. Firm. Final." Her tears turned into anger. "You'll regret this," she spat. "No one will ever love you the way I did." And for the first time, I laughed. Not bitter, not broken, just free. "Exactly," I said. "No one will ever love me the way you did. And thank God for that." Her face crumpled. She stumbled back, shaking her head. And then she walked away, for good this time. I didn't chase her. I didn't even watch her go. I just turned, unlocked my door, and stepped inside my apartment, into my new life. That moment was my true closure. Not her apology, not her tears, not even her begging. The closure came from me, from realizing I didn't need her anymore, that I had survived the worst, and I had come out stronger. Because the truth is, some doors don't close by themselves. Sometimes you have to slam them shut. And that day, I did. That night, I sat by the window, looking at the city lights. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt peace. Not the fragile peace of pretending everything was fine, but real peace. The kind that comes when you stop carrying someone else's sins on your shoulders. And in that silence, I whispered to myself, I'm free. But the story doesn't end there. Because after the fire, after the heartbreak, after the karma, life had something waiting for me. Something I didn't expect.